So in case you haven't been paying attention in Major League Baseball during the winter, you're just like most Americans because nobody really cares a whole lot about baseball in the winter. But anyways, there has been a big scandal going on with the Astros, who won the 2017 World Series and are being accused of cheating, right?
Cheating.
So there was this big...
Well, they've been caught.
They've been caught, basically. Yeah. And they've been the MLB has been investigating it, and they came out with their punishment this week. Yeah. So basically, it sounds like they had a camera in the center field pointed at the pitcher and catcher, picking out signs, and then they would bang on a trash can inside the dugout to tell the hitter if it's off speed or fastball type stuff. So
really
pretty extensive, and MLB is, I don't know, they, what's the right word here, Ryan? Frown upon using technology to steal signs is basically the issue here,
it's
right?
not specifically written in that you cannot steal signs. I think what it's written in is that you cannot use the technology mid-game to give your team's chance a better chance or an unfair advantage.
Okay.
Is that because the other team doesn't have the same camera in the same spot? I don't know. I think that's the way the direction.
How you're creating a competitive advantage.
And that's the direction MLB went with it.
Okay. So they came out with their penalties, and pretty harsh, if you ask me, in a way, but we'll get into that. Against the Houston Astros on Monday, after a lengthy investigation into the team's use of technology to steal signs, the sanctions include 1-year suspensions for Astros manager A.J. Hinch and general manager Jeff Luhnow, as well as a $5 million fine and the loss of future draft picks. Shortly after the sanctions were announced, the Astros fired both Hinch and Luhnow, each of whom will be ineligible to partake in the 2020 season. Basically, to go down a little easier way to read it, manager A.J. Hinch suspended, then fired. GM Jeff Luhnow suspended for 1 year, then fired by the Astros. Former assistant GM Brandon Taubman suspended for 1 year. And then Astros forfeit their first and second round pick for the next 2 seasons, which is pretty insane.
That is big.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then they were also fined $5 million, which is the maximum allowed under MLB's Constitution. A little more information. Constitution is the way they said it.
Yeah.
Red Sox manager Alex Cora was also named in the report, who was just recently fired, and newly named Mets manager Carlos Beltran was also named in the report and may receive punishment.
But his was from a player standpoint, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
And it's a unique situation because now he's a manager.
Yeah, and he wasn't, so I'm not sure on that, to be honest. Was he a bench coach at one point that during this? He had to have
He was
been,
a
right?
bench coach, yeah. He was part of
For
the
1
World
year?
Series coaching,
Okay.
squad.
So he was part of
I think that was his first year,
scandal.
yeah.
He was at least named in the investigation.
Well, he was actually him and Carlos Beltran were the two I think that apparently came up with the idea.
So
right?
it's
Who
Cora
designed the whole thing.
Cora and Beltran that
Beltran,
did that?
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
From my understanding. I mean, they have been really secretive about what has really actually been said too, because the way they're getting their information is, I mean, they couldn't confirm any of this either, right? This was all speculative at the same time.
It's basically
they found it in the investigation though.
But they haven't released the details of that.
Has not been.
basically
Right.
from what we're hearing is like AJ Hinch and Jeff Luhnow were suspended because they allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
Not necessarily it was their idea, it wasn't anything, but basically they knew enough and they didn't cut it off.
Well, and in September of that year, I think they got a message from Manfred saying that you guys need to stop this because they had found evidence of this already happening, and they did not stop.
Tampa Bay is actually the one that complained about it, or
Okay.
like caught it, or something like that. Or there was a team or two that caught it and said, "Hey, this is going on." And brought it. Yeah. Beltran though, he was a player on that 2017.
and then a bench
and then
coach in
went-
2018.
No, then he went right to the Mets. He was one of the only people that's ever made that jump.
I am going to correct you on that. He just got hired as the Mets coach. He wasn't the Mets coach last year.
Oh, so
Right.
he was okay, but he was. There was something about how quick of a transition he made.
Okay.
But 17 was his last. He was not a bench coach for them.
Okay.
In 17, he was a player.
Gotcha. No, and I think he is right on that. And then he was a bench coach some sort of bench coach, I think, in at least 2019 is my guess
And
for the
is
Astros.
because they're saying that's why he's going to skate on this.
Okay.
He's been with the organization the last couple of years still, and then this was his role as a manager this year.
Okay. So it basically started when Mike Fiers, former pitcher for the Astros, also for your Tigers, came out and is basically the whistleblower of this whole thing, basically by telling his teammates, "Hey, watch out for this. This is what they do."
kidding, yeah.
It's like he's known about it, and basically is what started getting this thing going. On top of what the Rays saw, and all of that stuff. The whistleblowing, I think, when he's still a player, is a little sketchy. Like, I would never want to be that guy personally.
I think
I'm
it's
curious
awesome.
to what you like that he was a whistleblower on.
Well, yeah, I mean, those aren't his teammates anymore. I mean, he's trying to expose the teams that he feels is causing his A's team now. Like, the A's are competitive. So if he wants a fair advantage for the A's moving forward, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be with the A's this year. I think he was on a 1-year contract.
Okay.
But still, I think he just wants to even the playing field and maybe get back at some people that he doesn't like.
You can't blame him.
Yeah.
He's got big cojones.
Yeah, so I look at it kind of like, Jose Canseco, who was the whistleblower of the steroid era. Now, I mean, are they kind of in that same group there? I'm probably not to the extent of Jose Canseco, but it's still like, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like when you disrespect the brotherhood of a sport, like, you're going to be the out man. That's just kind of the way it works. It'll be interesting to see if he does get another contract after this one, because he's kind of broken that bond. Is there going to be an Astro on, the Tigers, and all of a sudden the Tigers can't sign Mike Fiers because of that? You know what I mean? Like, it just can get hairy.
I heard somebody talking about it and say, well, this is unprecedented because this is what technology brings, different issues and all this. It's like, technology. I mean, they had a camera in center field and they were banging a trash can. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
this is not high tech.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
Jose Canseco might have been involved in that one too. Like, maybe he was
Right.
the brains behind everything.
Yeah.
We're gonna stop outlawing trash cans. In the
It was right after
dugouts.
he was right after he got hit in the head and with
The
that
ball
home
went
run.
over the whole
yeah, and then he's
fence.
like, I got an idea, guys.
Yeah. This is brilliant. I'm done with steroids. Now it's about trash cans.
Yeah, the other part of it is that people look at their home and away splits, and they were so different. The Astros team was so dominant at home, and they were so average away.
Okay.
But you could say that about every single baseball team every single year. It is so rare to be just as good away. If you could look at the Rockies and their splits. Obviously, every single year are way different. So I don't like that comparison either. I don't know. I mean, I think this is actually a bigger. It's not as big a scandal as the punishment. I think this punishment is huge.
Yeah.
Four picks in the next 2 years. 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders.
I think that is huge.
But then they're
there's also
losing
people,
their management, their entire manager, their GM. Like these are the guys who completely built a dynasty with only one ring, but a dynasty of a team over the last 4 years, and with all this young talent, and they're losing it from the top. And everybody says you build an organization from the top down. It's huge.
It's huge, but look at how the MLB is taking it. They're not going to put up with this crap.
Yeah.
You cheat, you are going to be put down. They're not going to stand for it, and that's the message they're sending.
I like it. I do like it, but I think it's too big.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then you have some people that are arguing that it's too small and saying, well, they should forfeit their World Series, basically, is what some people are arguing. I don't know if it's baseball fans or just sports fans that it's like,
It's already
it's
said
something
and done.
drastic to happen. You know what I mean? But a couple questions I wanted to bring up was, the connections with Boston. My first thought with the whole thing with Dave Dombrowski. So they won the championship 2018. Less than a year later, Dave Dombrowski's fired as the general manager. It's a rhetorical question, just a thought. Do you think maybe he didn't like what he was seeing with Alex Cora and was like, hey, I'm not going to be part of this, and basically was trying to shut it down in a way, and they were like, no, this is a good thing going here.
It's interesting.
You're saying no. I mean, it's more of a thought than anything. I don't think we have the answer to it, but
it's interesting
I find
to think
it
about.
interesting because he was fired in a way unfairly very quickly after a World Series victory.
Yeah, but the Red Sox this year, they were in shambles, and that was the reason. I mean, winning, what have you done for me right now is everything in baseball. It's everything in sports.
Yeah.
And Dombrowski has,
Unless you're the
they brought
Tigers.
him in. They brought him in to win a World Series, and they knew they were going to lose the farm system. They knew they were going to spend way too much money jump into these
That's what he
massive
does.
contracts.
Yeah.
That's Dave Dombrowski.
That's his MO, and that's what he did. They were losing with all those contracts this year. You're gone.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
they could lose with somebody else.
Yeah. So luckily, the last few years when this is all taking place, the Tigers, our team, wasn't involved, so we don't have that extra hurt to it. But Kyle, you're a Yankees fan. They've lost to the Astros twice in the last 2 years, or last 3 years,
Yeah,
and
I
the Red
would
Sox
be-
once in that
Yeah.
other year. World Series champions played you guys twice, and they're the two people that are wrapped up in this scandal.
Yeah.
What are your
and
thoughts
I
on
think
it?
that. Yeah, so I'm probably the most upset about it.
Yeah.
I guess the time I've had to think about it's been tricky because I don't think the punishment is enough.
Okay.
But I don't know how I would do more.
So
yeah.
The $5 million is nothing.
It's absolutely nothing.
Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing. There's no point in even doing it.
Yep.
What they should have done, sorry to jump in, but
No,
what
go
they
ahead.
should have done is taken $5 million away from the international signing bonus. That's what they should have
That's a
done.
bigger deal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's a
that's
good
kind
point.
of where I would. Yeah, I don't know where to go. I mean, 17 they took them to. It was a 7-game series.
Yeah.
They lost. The Yankees lost at home.
Yeah.
I think. Well, no, they might have not been at home.
I don't think it doesn't matter, but
Yeah,
It-
you have two teams that won back-to-back titles here who were both doing the same thing.
yeah.
And there's something that, sure, it's not a 10-year span or 10 years in a row or something like that.
Is-
It's still 2 years in a row though. These teams.
So Alex
Goodness.
Cora is mentioned in this. He's listed as one of the main people involved.
Yeah.
That's the only reason the Red Sox have any connection to this, correct?
Yes.
Because they haven't been
But
connected to.
no, they're saying that Alex Cora brought that
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
thing
Yes.
to the Red Sox.
The Red Sox today fired him preemptively.
I think
Yeah.
they should
Parted ways.
give their
Yeah.
titles away and give them to the Tigers.
I would love that.
How about
No-
one Tigers, one Yankees?
Yeah, no, Yankees have plenty. Maybe you guys should give a few to us.
You guys can have one. We'll just take the one. We just want to hang a banner.
I had another question. So I look at a good manager and a good GM that is out on the market now after this year.
Very true.
Am I wrong to say, Tigers, after this season, this is your time? Because, look, cheating or not, this organization, the Astros, built a very good team through the farm system, through the international draft, and all of those ways. Like, that's what this Tiger team needs. Is that a fair...
Yes, because-
would you be okay with them?
That's where I was
Being Tigers?
That's where I was going to end that too. Like it's really hard on the Astros, right, and the Red Sox as organizations. But people are saying like, "Oh, those poor GMs, the poor
Yeah.
managers and the poor GM, they'll never work again." Are you crazy?
Yeah.
they'll have a job next year.
Yeah, because I don't think that what they did is. I think it's a player thing, and I think
do
the
too.
players are the ones that got off easy on this
I do too.
because
I don't know how
it
to
doesn't
punish
matter.
the player, but like Jose Altuve was the 2017 MVP. Like,
Yeah,
And he's terrible since.
he's a really bad player. Yeah. But
They're all still really great players. So I mean,
yeah. So Ryan, you're a baseball. So did you have something?
no, that was it.
You're a baseball player. How I think of it this way: you're getting a last second nod of what this pitch is, and I feel like it would almost hurt the focus of the batter more than anything.
that is totally up to the hitter though, because some people need that knowledge. They crave it so that they can get their timing down. Other people are like, "Don't mess me up. I don't want you to tell me anything about like George Springer for the Astros doesn't even look at scouting reports.
Yeah,
He doesn't even know what the pitcher has in the bag. He just wants to see the ball and hit the ball.
he just sleeps with his bat to get off the schneid.
no. That's
Bregman.
third baseman. Yeah. Alex
Oh,
Bregman.
all right.
But Bregman, on the other hand, he's really into scouting reports. He watches
Okay.
film. He looks at spin rates. He pays attention to he actually will go into an at bat thinking, okay, this guy's spin rate is 25% higher than an average spin rate, so I'm going to pull the trigger a little bit faster than what I think. What I see in my head, I'm actually going to swing a little bit sooner.
Okay.
So he's all in his head.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think people really understand that, like how smart a lot of these baseball players are.
Oh, their vision
It's incredible.
and their brain are absolutely insane.
But getting back to what you were saying, Sam, with these guys being on the open market, I would love for AJ Hinch to be part of the Tigers organization because number one, he had no part in this except for not exposing his team, which
Yep.
as a manager, why would you ever throw your team under the
I know.
bus?
Exactly.
Why would-
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
He's in a tough spot.
And then the other part of that is the Astros have this awesome reputation of being ahead of the curve and using technology to measure spin rates and give the proper
Analytics. Yeah.
Exactly. They're ahead of it.
They're
so
way ahead.
if he brings that kind of an atmosphere to the Tigers organization where they're always looking for a way to get ahead, even if it ends in cheating, I guess.
That's true.
I'm game.
So would
Let's
you
do it.
guys say, I guess if you were the Astros, would you feel bad about this, or would you just be like, hey, we got our title, who gives a crap?
They got their title.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
They're going to keep it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't, yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, if I was
let's
them,
think 10 years from now, you know, Alex Bregman's at a bar. He's going to be like, hey, I won the 2017 World Series. No one's going to be like, well, you know, there is an asterisk on that one, so I'm not going to buy you a drink today. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
It's like-
he has that for the rest of
it's
his
the
life.
Pete Rose argument with the Hall of Fame.
The fans have it for the rest of their lives. The players have it for the rest of their lives. It is what it is at this
You
point.
can't take back that experience, the money they made off of it.
yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
But according to the rule, I mean, isn't it gray to a certain extent? I mean, if you repeated it, I mean, word for word, I mean,
Well,
it's like, it's
It
kind
is
of a gray-
completely against the rule. It's not even a gray. Like, it says you cannot use technology to steal signs, and they were. I think the Red Sox were using Apple Watches at one point. That was before even Alex Cora. But then, I mean, they're always doing it, and then there's sign stealing, like with just visually doing it.
Okay.
So like sign stealing is the gray, baseball rule, like you can't do that type thing. But this is actually in the rule book. You cannot use technology to steal signs.
Okay,
or
so
get that
so
type
is
of
the
advantage.
report the TV in the trash can? Is that the report?
Basically, that's what we've heard so far. We haven't heard much more.
Okay, I don't think any of us are going to be able to answer this with a packed, sold-out stadium for a ton of games.
Right?
Are you going to hear the damn trash can?
I mean, if you're listening for it, possibly.
Oh, so that's the thing.
But
that
at the same
Really?
time, I don't think you would be able to.
Like-
in my, I don't know.
Have you seen the length of the dugout to the freaking home plate?
Yeah.
How are you hearing a trash can and then, like, how does a camera not catch someone just banging on a trash can? I don't get
know.
it.
Was it
It-
never
it's
on
weird.
camera?
Not that I've
Here's
heard
the thing.
or
Somebody's
seen
gonna,
yet.
somebody's
It has
gonna
to be
figure this
somewhere.
out.
Yes.
Somebody is going to take a ton of time to figure out how many times Jose Altuve hit an off-speed pitch and you can hear a trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody will, because I agree,
off-speed-
Jose Altuve is a great player, a Hall of Fame player, but his two best seasons by a considerable amount were 16 and 17.
Yeah.
If you talk home runs or runs, RBIs, batting average, I mean,
sure.
was he hurt this year?
I think he was in and out of the lineup. a
Yeah,
lot
but
this
when
year.
he was healthy, he was awesome.
Yeah.
But he only finished 298, where great batting average. Don't get me wrong, but he batted like what
330.
343.
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's
340s.
below. Yeah, that's below him.
So it's not a night and day difference. The question is, how much did he get better?
For sure.
And did it affect? We don't really know, but I think somebody's going to put too much time into this and try to figure all this
For
out.
sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like what kind of players say. Well, I asked for them not to do it, and you know what I mean. Like how that's going to all unfold is going to be because this is really just the tip of the iceberg with everything that's going to be found. Because there is going to be a lot found. I guarantee it. I just want to know what it is. I'm sick of like wondering and all that stuff. But it'll be interesting.
I thought a lot. I love the part that Ryan said too. Like we're talking about technology. You're banging a trash can. Like, there's something about it's so primitive that I love. Like that's why. Or somebody said like, do you think like do they care? They got their title. Yeah, keep the title. I don't like. It's hilarious. You've beat the system.
Yeah,
it's not hilarious, but it I don't know.
There was a time when I was catching in college and the other team stole my. I had a give like every single time it was off speed. I would hop out. As a catcher, I would just like right when he started.